Football often called a team sport, but not all positions receive equal treatment from fans, media, or even coaches. Among these, goalkeepers stand out as players who face the harshest scrutiny. The term overhated has become popular to describe the unfair criticism and disproportionate blame often directed at them. This issue is especially evident in women's football, where goalkeepers not only endure professional critique but also deal with personal biases and unwarranted hate. Despite their crucial role on the pitch, goalkeepers are frequently overshadowed by outfield players and targeted when things go wrong. Understanding why goalkeepers are labeled overhated requires examining the unique challenges they face. Let's explore these factors in greater depth to understand the plight of goalkeepers and why they deserve more respect. But before we continue to the video, if you liked a video talking about women football like this, make sure you have press sub and like button. A goalkeeper's mistakes are more noticeable than those of outfield players, making them an easy target for criticism. When an outfield player loses the ball or misplaces a pass, there is often another teammate who can recover the situation. However, when a goalkeeper makes an error, it often leads directly to a goal. For fans, it is easier to point fingers at the last line of defense than to consider the mistakes that occurred earlier in the build-up to the goal. The constant focus on their mistakes can lead to a negative spiral where they're more likely to make errors due to the stress. People tend to remember and talk more about the mistakes than the great plays in women's football, which is not fair to the goalkeepers who are out there, trying their best. Even though goalkeepers are getting better at stopping goals, the public still focuses on past mistakes or the occasional big ones, not seeing the progress. Not many people remember how much better women's goalkeeping has become because they don't look at how the game has grown over time. Statistically, women's football has shown progress in reducing errors leading to goals, but the perception doesn't always catch up with these stats. Instead, there's a lingering focus on the few mistakes rather than the many saves, creating a disconnect between reality and public opinion. In conclusion, the visibility of goalkeeper mistakes creates an environment where goalkeepers are not just criticized but overhated, sometimes in ways that seem disproportionate to the actual impact of their errors. When goalkeepers make spectacular saves, it doesn't always get the same level of celebration or acknowledgement as when a player scores. In women's football, where goalkeeping techniques might not have been as refined until recently, these saves can be feats of skill and instinct, but they rarely make headlines. The culture of football is goal-centric, so if a game ends with few goals or a loss, the saves made by the goalkeeper can go unnoticed. Fans and analysts often focus on the scoreline rather than the defensive efforts that kept the score close. The metrics used to evaluate goalkeepers tend to highlight goals conceded over saves made, which doesn't give a complete picture of their performance. This can lead to a situation where a goalkeeper who makes numerous saves is still criticized for a few goals let in. In women's football, where matches might not be as high-scoring, each save can be pivotal, but this isn't often celebrated to the same degree. This lack of recognition can make goalkeepers feel undervalued, especially when their contributions are crucial to the team's strategy. The recognition of women's sports, including football, still lags behind, so each save made by a goalkeeper can be an opportunity to showcase the sport's quality. However, if these moments aren't highlighted, it contributes to a narrative where only the negatives are memorable. This imbalance in how saves versus goals are perceived can also affect team morale. If a goalkeeper's critical saves don't get the spotlight, it might not only impact their confidence but also how they're perceived by teammates, potentially leading to less support when mistakes happen. Therefore, goalkeepers in women's football are disproportionately remembered for their failures rather than their successes, fostering an environment where they feel overhated when they don't get the acclaim they deserve for their defensive prowess. The news and social media can take a goalkeeper's mistake and spread it everywhere, making sure everyone sees it. This can make one moment of error define their entire performance in the public's eye. The media loves drama, so a goalkeeper's error can become the headline or the viral content of the day, making people forget all the good saves they made. This focus on sensationalism can skew the narrative around a goalkeeper's game, emphasizing the negative. On social media, a mistake can go viral instantly, making it seem like that's all the goalkeeper does wrong. The speed and reach of social media mean that even a small error can be seen by millions, leading to a disproportionate amount of criticism. The anonymity of social media can embolden harsher critiques or even hate speech, which can be particularly damaging to players' mental health. For goalkeepers, whose performance can be heavily influenced by confidence, this can be a devastating blow. The depth of analysis in women's soccer coverage often doesn't match that of other sports, leading to less understanding of what makes a goalkeeper effective beyond simply not making mistakes. This superficial understanding can fuel the hate when errors do occur. Media has a responsibility to provide balanced coverage, but when it fails or engages in sensationalism for viewership, it perpetuates the cycle of overhating goalkeepers. Ultimately, the media's influence on public opinion means they hold power in either reinforcing or breaking the cycle of overhating, but without a shift towards more constructive and comprehensive reporting, goalkeepers will continue to bear an unfair burden of criticism. Unrealistic expectations are one of the main reasons goalkeepers are called overhated. Unlike other players on the team, people often expect goalkeepers to save every shot, no matter how hard or perfectly placed it is. When attackers score one goal after many missed chances, they are celebrated. But if a goalkeeper makes 10 great saves and lets in one goal, they are often criticized. This unfair double standard shows that many people don't fully understand how difficult it is to be a goalkeeper, especially when the pressure is high. People expect goalkeepers to be perfect, which is impossible. Fans don't always think about things like how fast the ball is moving, if it takes a deflection, or if the opposing player is in a good position to score. For example, if a shot is taken very close to the goal or changes direction after hitting another player, it's almost impossible to stop. But even in these cases, people still blame the goalkeeper. These expectations make it feel like goalkeepers are being judged unfairly. The way a goalkeeper plays is also criticized because of unrealistic expectations. For example, if a goalkeeper comes off their line to try to stop an attacker but misses, people say they are too risky. On the other hand, if a goalkeeper stays close to the goal and doesn't come out, they are called too cautious. No matter what they do, it seems like they can't win. Fans often forget that different situations need different approaches, and goalkeepers have to play to their strengths. Finally, people often blame goalkeepers for goals without thinking about the team as a whole. Football is a team game, and many things can lead to a goal, like defenders not marking properly or tactical mistakes. Even if the goalkeeper isn't at fault, they are the ones who take the blame most of the time. This makes it seem like the goalkeeper has to do everything perfectly, which isn't fair. Instead, people should try to understand how hard it is to play this role and appreciate their efforts. And yeah, maybe that's some of the reasons why the term overhated in women's football is often directed at players who play goalkeeper. If you have another opinion, you can comment below. Before I close this video, just want to tell you all, if you have any ideas to discuss for the next video about women's football, you also can comment below. Thanks for watching, see you in the next video, bye.